All right. Shalom. This is GMS Louisiana Saints with another lesson. But before we do anything, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled and teach well. And peace and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. And for this lesson, we're going to get into an article just going to show the signs of the times that we're living in, that things definitely aren't going to get better. They're only going to get much worse. And if you have any hopes or aspirations for things to get better, you better toss that shit out the window and better buckle up, because it's about to be a bumpy ride.
Right. Okay. It says, this is an article in
It's from the endoftheamericandream.com.
okay. And the title is, All of the Bad News in 2020 is causing a shockingly high number of Americans to seriously consider suicide.
Khan, give me that Isaiah 33 verse 6.
This is Isaiah 33 verse 6. It says, And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
At point blank period, reread the title of that article.
It says, all of the bad news in 2020 is causing a shockingly high number of Americans to seriously consider suicide.
And why are these people doing that? Because they don't have wisdom and knowledge that's going to be the stability for them in these times we're living in,
Right.
which is the last seconds of these last days when all hell's about to break loose. These people that have been living these meaningless carnal lives for the longest time, these proud, haughty people are starting to see their ways catch up with them.
Yeah.
And in their spirit, they can perceive that it's only going to get worse. That's why you've got an uptick of people buying military-grade gear for these elections, a record number of Americans buying guns, ammunition going low, people clearing these store shelves because they're trying to get a semblance of some sense of protection for the times to come.
Right.
But if you don't have that protective hedge of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai over you, it's all going to be futile. You're going to have to get it how you live when Jacob's trouble really pops off, and the getting's not going to be good. There's going to be race wars, civil wars, even more deadly pestilences, killing people off, famines, people starving to death and turning to cannibalism, martial law, where you're going to have foreign troops on the streets of America putting you people down like dead like dogs in the streets, especially you hard-headed 2/3 Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And if you make it through all that, if you manage to make it through all that, don't count your blessings, because the cherry on top is going to be that nuclear destruction.
Hey, if you don't mind me saying,
You got it.
honestly, if they listen to everything that we say, hey, suicide might be the best thing for you right now, to be honest. Because you wouldn't want to go through all those different things. So if you scared, go ahead and get rid of yourself, man. But of course, the spirit got to be on you to kill yourself. But trust me, in those days, man, you just going to be another person being stepped over as the dung in the street.
And hey, if you're an Edomite that does delete yourself, so to speak, you're gonna still be a two-time loser, because if you go out that way on this side, you're only gonna be waiting in the spirit world to come back through the loins of your ancestors in the kingdom of heaven, where the Israelites are gonna be ruling. And the first thing you're gonna do is cry and whine like a baby to get some chains slapped on you and serve that 1,000 years of hardcore bondage and slavery.
That's right.
So the only people that this whole thing is looking good for are the Israelites. First and foremost, the elect, the 144,000, and the rest of the righteous 1/3. And even you 2/3 Israelites are going to die horrifically on this side. You're still going to have it good in the kingdom.
Yeah.
But could you get me Isaiah 2, verse 11 through 12? Because this is the time of the Most High visiting you people for your wickedness, your pride, etc., etc., living like brute beasts and degenerates for the longest time. You thought that since the Most High was slack in bringing about judgment, that it was all good, that he was either on your side, or he didn't exist. But that's completely contrary to the truth of things. It was just the Most High letting you build up your wickedness for a time, just to let that judgment on you be that much more severe and harsh.
That's right. This Isaiah 2 and 11. It said, the lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day.
Hey, you dope boys out there, you celebrities, You average people out here with your college degrees and your good paying jobs and your nice cars. For the longest time, you treated people any which way you thought you could.
Right.
Because, hey, if somebody bucked up against you, what could you do? Call some jerk-off lawyer and sue him, or call the cops over any little thing, and they would come and take your side? Well, hey, them days are over. It's time for those proud and haughty looks to be brought down. Oh, and chiefly, you people that have come up and scoffed against the prophets of the Most High. Here it is. We've been out there week in, week out, beginning with our apostle elders for 30 plus years, telling you people, especially you Israelites, of the times to come. What do? If you could, you'd put us to death like you did in the past, but you scoff, you talk shit, you want to spit on us, pour water on us, pour piss on us, try to dox people and show their bosses what they're doing on the weekend, or showing their family members on the internet, etc., etc. Well, hey, that's all coming to an end, and every idle word will be accounted for in that day.
It says, "For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low."
Lower than the dung on the earth. Hey, you people are about to be in a very bad case, as it says in Isaiah, I believe 65, while my servants shall eat and drink, while ye shall starve and thirst.
Right.
My servants shall rejoice and be glad, while ye shall cry for vexation of spirit. It's about to be a complete turning in this society.
That's right. Let me go to the article.
Con.
It says, "This is a very difficult article for me to write, but I definitely need to write it. All over the country, people are considering suicide because all of the bad things that have happened this year. And the things are only going to get even more challenging in 2021.
And that's
and
one
beyond.
of the biggest understatements of the year. Things are definitely going to get more challenging.
Yeah.
Hey, it's going to get to the point to where it's going to be incomprehensible. The days we're going into are going to be worse than any other time in history, even worse than the days of Noah, where only Noah, his sons, his wives, and the animals on the ark survived.
And they had this thing going on. They had this meme where these females had this meme where this woman, she'll be stepping into a new year. And she'll always step into a new year worse than she did the previous year. So when you think about it, people be like, "Oh man, I'm done with 2020. Well, shit, you leaving out of this year broken down and damn near desolate, almost dead damn near. What you think 2021 gonna have in store for you?"
Hey, and even going into 2020, you weren't in a good case.
Right.
This country was in the midst of a economic collapse.
That's right.
There was a bunch of job losses already going on, businesses shutting down, et cetera, et cetera. This whole coronavirus situation just sped it up.
That's right. That's right. It says, "This greatly grieves me because suicide is never the answer to anything. And I wish that I could sit down individually with every person that is considering suicide and get them to understand this. Our lives are meant to be lived with purpose, passion, and great joy. And that doesn't change when times get very difficult. In fact, when challenging times come, that is when bright lights are needed the most."
And who's the brightest lights out here? The men of the Lord,
Yeah.
the prophets of the Most High. And what's the message we're telling you people? That the only thing that's coming is lamentations, mournings, woes, death, destruction, blood, guts, ass, rape, misery, murder.
And in their lives, there's no room for that. And these people lives, they don't have time to talk about those things because they believe that their passion, their pride, and their purpose is in other endeavors, man.
My truth.
Yeah, their truth. But we giving them the truth. But they don't want that. We're showing them the only purpose that anybody has is through these scriptures, man. But that's the reason why these people are considering suicide. Because they're looking for a light that won't shine on them. If you don't mind, I got to...
Oh, yeah, you got it.
You mind if I get a precept for
Oh,
you
yeah,
real
you
fast?
good. Hey, the only light at the end of that dark tunnel is going to be the light glint from those falling stars, those nuclear missiles.
Right.
And hey, the author of this article, he says he's a so-called Christian, but he's still smoking that hopium. He clearly doesn't understand, or perceive what the scriptures are saying. Because hey, he may seem like he's in the spirit right now. I want want to sit down, everybody.
Yeah.
Give them some
He's
donuts.
full of shit.
Some donuts and some coffee with a nice amount of sugar and cream on it. But hey, what does it say? The love of many will wax cold in that day.
Yeah.
When the chips are down in this society and you don't have that wisdom and understanding to be your stability, which is only for the elect of the nation of Israel, you're going to revert to that dog animalistic spirit.
That's right.
Once your belly really starts touching your back, you're going to do anything you can to fill that void.
That's right, man. The true colors of the people is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
This Isaiah 60:1. It says, arise and shine, for the light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and the glory shall be seen upon thee. Okay. And if I can go ahead and make a point, well, it talked about the people not having that light. And the brother had basically said there's only one light out here that's shining brighter than anything can shine in the world. And that's the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shine. Who is that on? That's on the men of the Lord, man. And everybody else is in gross darkness. That's the reason why their lives is so meaningless, man. Because the things that they love to do is starting to be either their job is closing, their activities, they can't do it no more. And all these different things are just ruined. And their lives have no purpose no more. You know?
Time. Perfectly spoken.
It says, making sure I'm in the right space. It says, personally, even though I am constantly writing about all of the hard things that are going on in the world, I am not down. I am not depressed. I am not on any pills.
Hey, if we could ask this author, what's the name of the Most High and His Son?
Right.
What do you think he would say?
Oh, Yahuwah, Yeshua. I'm an atheist. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Right.
But he's not depressed or on pills or anything like that. Well, again, when that love of many waxes cold and your belly's touching your back, we'll see how good you're feeling in that day.
Exactly. It says, instead, I am incredibly thankful for the gift of each new day. And there is no other time in all of human history that I would rather be alive than right now.
What does this author think's coming? Hey, let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 3. We're going to read verse 1 to 8.
No problem.
Because with the way this author is sounding, he's thinking there's going to be a great... Because I've read this author's many of his articles in the past, and the spirit he's in is that there's going to be some kind of great American Renaissance where everybody's going to come together and have a good time. We're going to be those lights in the darkness that are going to shine forth through adversity and rebuild back up civilization. We'll know that that's not what's going to happen at all. And if you were in the right spirit, you would understand that things are only going to get worse.
And also, he got to understand that, if I can say, that a lot of people don't think the way he thinks. You know? And I'm pretty sure that he don't believe the... Oh.
Hey, he even says that in plenty of his articles. He says, I wish the voices of reason would come through and people would just realize that we're all in this together. But from what I see, only hate and distrust are the things that people want to hear in this time.
That's right.
Which is exactly what it's about to say in Ecclesiastes chapter 3. There's a time and a season for everything.
That's right.
And everything that's a positive is not what's about to come to pass. Only everything that's negative.
That's right. And it says... And one more thing,
you got it.
I just want to say, people are bored with life, man. People tired of doing the same old thing each and every day. Ain't nothing new happening, no changes. Some people really want to get either out there and go kill some people, or they want to end their life, man, because they on prescription pills, doing drugs all day, and they know that their life just has no real meaning no more, man.
And as the title of this article said, record numbers of Americans are contemplating suicide.
That's right. It says Ecclesiastes 3:1. It said, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
And hey, it's a time to pluck up that which was planted.
Yep.
And what's been planted, Esau, Edom's rulership, beginning with the Renaissance, building all the way up to Babylon the Great, the United States of America, the crowning jewel of Esau, Edom's rulership. Hey, you had a good wicked run while it lasted. You're able to do what you wanted to do, get the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven, but we're living in the last seconds of your rulership. You've just about reached the bounds which you cannot pass, and now that bitch is about to get plucked up by the roots. And who's it starting with? The prophets of the Most High, the men of the Lord, going out there on the highways and byways, spiritually condemning and tearing down this place, and then just waiting for it to manifest in the physical. When Yahushua returns to save his elect, go to war against you heathen nations, and in the rulership of you Edomites, and set up the kingdom of heaven.
That's right. It says a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up.
And what did you just say? A lot of people out here don't share that sentiment of optimism that author has. A lot of people want to get out here and put that work to these people.
Yeah.
They're in that time of killing.
Yeah.
They want to kill their significant other. They want to kill their kids. They want to kill their boss. They even want to kill themselves.
Well, just look at the spirit that's being placed in these Americans, man. All you see is action movies, people utilizing weapons, shooting,
The Purge.
Hey,
Grand Theft Auto.
right? Yeah, Call of Duty. That's all these people do all day. So therefore, they wanna go out there and see if they can be tactical too, man. But the only difference with those games in real life, you ain't spawning back, man.
There ain't no respawn.
Right?
Hey, and like we said earlier in the video, you're seeing people buy up tactical gear.
Yeah.
Due to this coming presidential election, and also Americans buying guns in record numbers. We think they're buying them for just to look at them and add them to their collection.
They won't get busy.
Con.
It says a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance.
And as we'll see later on in this article, it's a time of weeping and mourning, not dancing and laughing.
Right.
People are seeing that there's no light at the end of the tunnel, only further darkness, gross darkness.
What are we telling people out here these days? Laugh now, cry later, man. Because right now, things may seem funny, ha ha ha. Yeah, we able to do what we want.
Hey, we're in phase 3. We can go back on the Bourbon Street and get a drink, but it stops after 11 p.m. Well, hey, even that's not going to last for too much longer.
No.
Hey, that darkest winter is coming.
Absolutely.
It's going to be the darkest winter.
It's going to be an everlasting flow of tears.
Con, the Edomites trail of tears.
That's right, man. That's right.
And you Jakes, too.
Yeah. Because you deserve it, Jake. It says a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together.
And we're in that time of the stones getting gathered together. The stones of the elect of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
And it's a beautiful time to live in. Hey, like the author in that article said, I wouldn't want to live in any other time in history. Hey, we share that sentiment.
Yeah, we agree with that.
But in wisdom and knowledge,
That's right.
knowing that the times to come are going to be dark, but our light at the end of the tunnel is going to be the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be eternal.
It says a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing.
Hey, nation shall rise against nation, and one people shall stand up against another with swords in their hands. There shall be sedition among men, and they shall not regard their kings or princes.
That's right. A time to get a time to get and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to cast away. A time to rend and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak.
Hey, and we're in that time of speaking right now. What are you seeing us doing on this video? Speaking. And what are you seeing the men of the Lord doing? They go out on the highways and byways. Speak and preach this word and speak this downfall of you Edomites and heathen nations into existence.
That's right. We're going back into the article, unless you wanted more of it.
Just
okay.
verse 8, Baba Kashab.
Okay. It says a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace.
And with everything that's going on around you, do you think it's a time of peace and love, or do you think it's a time of hate and war? We'll leave that up to you.
You're going to get all your answers.
Soon enough.
That's right. It says, but if you allow your life to be defined by the system that the global elite have established, and if you are living for what you can get from that system, then the years ahead are going to be exceedingly difficult for you because that system is failing.
Hey, especially you Jakes that are like your daddy, the devil, Esau.
Yeah.
You hearken unto this demon, this reprobate, this basest of men for all your answers, and you're going to reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Hey, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished.
Absolutely.
You 2/3 are gonna get what Esau's gonna get on this side.
Yeah. And if I can add real fast, our people, they are systematically invested into the society thoroughly, man. They want the jobs. They want the symbol of being American. They want the culture of America. They getting ready for Halloween, you know. So our people are fully ingratiated in this system, and they don't see nothing wrong with it.
God. God.
It says, over the course of this year, the entire world has been thrown into a state of chaos by the coronavirus pandemic. The global economic collapse and the tremendous civil unrest that we have witnessed in major cities all over the planet. According to a survey that the CDC recently conducted, all of this turmoil has had a dramatic effect on our mental health. And the mental health was already fucked. So can you imagine it getting fucked even more? Oh man, people want to die.
People are already on the edge. The majority, when you walk out into the public and walk past the majority of these people are on prescription drugs.
Yeah.
They're alcoholics. They're drug addicts. That's the only thing they got to get them going by. Oh, and their job, so they can be able to finance their lifestyle.
And if I can add to that, you know, we live in, I mean, you know, we live in, you know, Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana. So where we hold camp at is on, you know, Bourbon Street for the brothers that's been out here. And you know, we have people passing us up all day. So we see the downtroddenness in these people, man. Even the people that's going out and get a drink and live it up on Bourbon Street, we see that they're done, man. They're finished.
Hey, we seen old Jakes walk out on Bourbon Street with a plastic cup full of Seagram's gin at 2 p.m., 2, 3, 4 p.m. in the afternoon. You aren't going through a good life doing that.
No, you're not.
And it's not just these people. These animals are hurting too.
Yeah.
One time there was a pigeon that was up in front of the camp, and honestly, he looked like he needed a beer.
Mm-hmm.
That's how downtrodden everything is in this society.
That's right. It says, at the end of June, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention surveyed almost 10,000 Americans on their mental health. They found symptoms of anxiety and depression, and 10,000 is just being nice. It's damn near billions that deal with these same things, man.
You got around 40 million Americans on unemployment.
Yeah.
You think they're having a good time being on unemployment?
No. It says symptoms of anxiety and depression were up sharply across the board between March and June compared with the same time the previous years, and young people seems to be the hardest hit of any group.
Hey, the highest working age.
Yeah.
Those that should be in the fruit of their life right now.
Mm-hmm.
You went to college, you got your degree, now you're out in the business world, you're making something of yourself, you're in the land of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
That's the highest percentage of those that are getting it the worst.
Yeah. It says almost 11% of all respondents to the survey said that they had seriously considered suicide in the past 30 days. It says for those ages 18 to 24, the numbers was 1 in 4, more than twice as high.
And this article is a couple of months old, so things have only progressively gotten worse since then.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of them people have killed themselves.
Hey, they're in the spirit world right now, probably watching this video like, hey, you guys are saying something.
Yeah.
I'm happier now. I'm glad I'm not you.
For real. It says these numbers are absolutely heartbreaking, but they're pretty beautiful to us. Because these people, they need to go.
Hey.
Because they're going to go anyway. You know?
Hey, if you're going to go, as a Joker said in Batman, like my plastic surgeon always said, if you got to go with a smile.
Go with a smile.
And hey, back in Isaiah chapter 2, verse 11 through 12, those proud and haughty looks
Yeah.
are being brought down,
Yeah.
and the name of Yahweh is going to be magnified.
That's right. It said the years between 18 and 24 should be some of the greatest years of your entire life. And yet 1 out of every 4 Americans in that age group seriously consider committing suicide in just 1 month. It said the number alone is sufficient evidence to prove that our society has become a complete and utter failure. The system that we are living in doesn't give these young people any real meaning for their lives, because they're too busy. They're too busy worrying about the next fashion, or being a homo, or considering transgenderism. Like, it's just
Committing
a
adultery.
waste. Committing adultery. Like, if you look at these kids in these high schools going into college, man, high school was nothing but a big old fashion show, man.
A popularity contest.
A popularity contest.
And look at how these kids in high school are now. You got kids committing suicide over cyberbullying,
Yeah.
over all the social media and stuff like that.
That's right, man. So when you look at it, man, it's really not hard to hear these things, man. You know, and then for the most part, their parents don't help them to help them have a proper mental state any fucking way. So you go to school with other fucked up minded people, you're gonna have the same mind frame.
Point blank period.
It says the system that we are living in doesn't give these young people any real meaning for their lives. It doesn't provide them with hope, and it doesn't give them any reason to be optimistic about the long-term future. They ain't got the Lord in there.
Point
in their
blank
life,
period.
man. That light, you know, and grows darkness, you know, and it's
Wisdom and stability, knowledge and wisdom being that stability.
That's right. It says, and the truth is that suicide have been on the rise for many years. In fact, the CDC numbers show that the suicide rate has been increasing every year since 2007.
And what happened in 2007 was one of the main things that happened in 2007. The elder apostles went onto YouTube and started
right.
preaching this word. And ever since then, you've only seen things go into hyperdrive. These end times prophecies beginning to come to pass and getting closer and closer to their fulfillment, to where we're at right now, on the cusp of all hell breaking loose.
That's right, man. That's when that light came upon the tube, man, unto the world, man.
That line going out to the ends of the earth.
That's right.
And when this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, then shall the end come.
That's right. It said the suicide rate among young people was already at a record high before the pandemic and had increased every year since 2007. According to a new analysis of CDC data released on Thursday by the Gun Control Group, Every Town for Gun Safety, the new report, which came on World Suicide Prevention Day, notes that suicide was the second leading cause of death among young people after accidents.
Damn.
That's crazy. After accidents, I'm gonna kill myself. That's amazing. It says, shouldn't the fact that the suicide rate just keeps going up year after year after year be a giant red flag for all of us? As a society, the direction that we are running is the exact opposite of where we should be going. And that greatly frustrates me. Many of us keep sounding the alarm, but most people simply do not want to listen. But if we keep going down the same path, many more Americans will fall into despair, depression, and self-destructive behavior.
And that's the only thing that's coming. It's not going to get any better from here on out.
Yeah. It says, just like the CDC numbers that I discussed earlier, a recent KFF tracking poll found that Americans have had an exceedingly difficult time dealing with the events of this year. Of course. In a KFF tracking poll conducted in mid-July, 53% of adults in the United States reported that their mental health has been negatively impacted due to the worry and stress over the coronavirus. This is significantly higher than the 32% reported in March. The first time this question was included in the KFF polling, many adults are also reporting significant negative impact on their mental health and well-being, such as difficulty sleeping, 36%, or eating, 32%, increase in alcohol consumption or substance use, 12%, and worsening chronic conditions, 12%, due to worrying and stress over the coronavirus. As the pandemic wears on, ongoing and necessary public health measures expose many people to experiencing situations linked to poor mental health outcomes, such as isolation and job loss. It says if we can't even deal with the problem that we are facing right now, how in the world are we going to handle what else is ahead?
Hey, let's look at that article.
Okay.
Hey, we'll give you the answer to that. If you can't, because things aren't even really that bad right now.
Right.
Hey, like the men of the Lord are always saying, we want things to ramp up and get worse.
That's right.
Well, hey, if you can't handle this little bit of fire on the stove right now, we got the answer for you. You're not gonna handle what's ahead. The majority of you are gonna die a horrific and painful death.
That's right.
The only people that are gonna make it in that day are the elect, who have the wisdom and knowledge that's gonna be the stability of their times.
That's right. And we still can't wait for those elections to start, man. See how things happen after those elections, man. You know? Because once Trump get in office, you know, there's a lot of these young kids, they're liberals. So that just give them something else to be upset and depressed about. Oh, man, we got to deal with Trump another 4 years. Bloosh. Why not?
God, we're going to close out with that Isaiah 24, verse 7 to 12.
No problem.
Bible Kashab.
Yeah. This is Isaiah, what again?
24, verse 7 to 12.
All right, 24.